My name is Neeraj Sharma. I lead Accenture's media industry practice for Asia Pacific. We will try to do this panel discussion in a slightly different way than usual, right? We'll try to have some fun here, and we hope you will join us in the fun towards the end by asking your own questions. Diljit, you are not allowed any questions. You ask tough questions.
This quota is over.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time today. I am very, very excited about having this discussion with you. See, we live in a very interesting world these days. You know, we live in a world of what I call infinite quantity. The amount of content produced by all studios all over the world put together is less than the amount of content uploaded on YouTube every 3 hours. And yeah, you might come and say that, you know, user-generated content, not good enough quality. We ran a survey. 60% of the audience that we researched said that they find user-generated content as exciting as studio content. And even if that were not to be the case, with the advent of Gen AI and easy availability of Gen AI tools, the quality of content is just going to get better only. So we already are in a world where we have infinite quantity. We will soon get into a world where we'll have infinite quality as well. And all the streaming video platforms around the world have to compete in that world. I don't envy your jobs, but I do think that being regional OTT players, you are in a space where you have a very massive inherent advantage to begin with. You already have a community that aligns, identifies themselves with you. So therefore, and perhaps, and you will tell me more, but perhaps their expectations in terms of what kind of star value to be brought in versus what kind of story value to be brought in is more aligned to better production value. So that's the conversation we are going to have today. I mentioned we'll run this session in a different fashion. We will take inspiration from the user-generated content world, the social media world, to run this session as well. We'll break this panel discussion down into 3 segments. Let's start with the very first segment, which I call the creator's voice. So what we'll do is, instead of me, the moderator, asking all the questions and doing all the work, I will outsource some of my work. I will just ask my first question to Satish sir, and then I will request that when you finish your answer.
Classic consulting.
And we get paid for it.
You have to get paid for it.
So I will start with you, and then when you finish your answer, you pick the next person you want to ask the question to. All right? So the creator's voice segment 1 starts here. Regional OTTs often face challenges like smaller budgets, smaller reach when compared to larger national, international platforms. What is the unique value proposition of regional OTTs that allows them to compete successfully against these larger players? And part 2 is, how do you balance content quality with cost?
Okay, first of all, thank you for being a nice, patient audience this morning. Thank you for the organizers. Thank you, fellow panelists. Thank you, Neeraj. I think regional OTT in itself is slightly been sort of a term picked up from regional Indian language television business, right? Regional newspapers and so on. Indian languages have always created content, be it printed content, audio, theater, cinema, and now, of course, OTT and the digital world. So there are many content creators across this country who have specialized in creating content within a specific state or language. I think at least I can speak about Malayalam Manorama. We've sort of specialized in creating Malayalam content. I think Indian language content will thrive. And the form of distribution keeps changing, technology comes about and helps us pivot and get into spaces, and the world is boundaryless now, right? Theater was limited to a particular place, then came cinema, it became slightly more broader. Now I think digital expansion and OTT has helped us nobody really spoke about Malayalam cinema until 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, right? So that's really helped us scale and understand. Why can't an Indian language, I keep saying this in many forums, be the next Korean or Japanese? Why can't Malayalam or Telugu or Assamese or Bengali become the next Korea or Japanese worldwide? We like Korean content, we like to watch Spanish content and so on and so forth. I think as far as budgets are concerned, each of these markets have lived and created great content within certain constraints. The size of the market, the cost of creation for a Malayalam cinema versus Hindi cinema has been very different. And now, in the last half a decade, I would say people have realized the value of story, the value of scripting, the value of production, and not necessarily a big star, pay 100 crores and make a film a successful film, right? So it's about the quality of content and post-production, etc., that brings about greater engagement about it. So budget's never been a constraint. I think once somebody said 100 crores, what will you do? I'll try and do 100 pieces of content, right? Instead of doing 2 pieces of content or 1 piece of content. So every week, I think each one of us, every day we're trying to crawl and understand what can I watch new tonight. We still run a linear business and a fairly successful linear business. But despite that, many of us have moved on and enjoy watching content in various languages, not just Indian but international too. So we're consuming a lot more content. So budgets will remain a constraint. I think a Netflix might find the billions of dollars they have still not enough to acquire and make more content, right? So they will live within the constraints and challenges of growth at that level, while others will still have their own constraints in the budgets when they operate. So it's about the boundaries and the borders you define. You can still create great content and distribute globally, and that's the future. Right? Languages are no longer a barrier to reach out to the world. That's my take. On that note, I'm supposed to ask the next question to my fellow panelists. Yeah, I'll quickly do that. I think I'll pick on Dilip, who's right next to me. Dilip, having created a very successful brand in the Telugu space, and also I know people have sort of entered the Tamil space some time ago, a lot more successful in Telugu. What really helped you become a successful Telugu platform, OTT, content creator, content distributor? AHA has done exceedingly well, I think, in the Telugu-speaking population across the world, and probably beyond that. Telugu also has created some exciting dramas, RRR, and so on and so forth, which is cut through languages and so on. So over to you, and what are your special USPs, and how have you managed to do what you've done so far?
Certainly, Satish. Thank you first of all, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, OTTVerse and its sponsors. I'll probably go back to before we launched. I was part of the core founding team, and we went to different parts of the 2 Telugu states, Telangana and Andhra. This is tier 2 and tier 3 places, and we asked a bunch of customers, what do you watch, or where do you watch your content? We didn't ask specifically Telugu content, where do you watch your content? They said they either watch it in iBomma or they watch it in Tok TV, and we've asked follow-up question. We've asked a follow-up question. What do you watch in there? They said they watch Stranger Things. This was in 2019, mid-2019. And then they watch Korean series. So the question was obvious. There's very high appetite for watching entertainment. There was no platform for them to watch Telugu specific content. Very few people gave an answer to the question of where do they watch Telugu entertainment. So the opportunity was very evident, and I think that coaxed us into realigning our strategy and say, start in Telugu. Feb 2020 is when we launched, and COVID hit, and we know what happened, so rest is history. But what resonated really well with our customer base is the kind of content that we created that could resonate with our audience. A variety of fiction and non-fiction content. We are actually pioneers in non-fiction content in the market. 1 rupee per day offering, that really resonated well with our customer base. And like you rightly said, language is such a powerful medium. One of our partners a couple of years ago told me this. There's something called dominant language and significant language. We Indians love our dominant language. We speak, think, eat dominant language. Significant language is only for work, or something else, so probably in education, right? I'm from Telugu, so my dominant language is Telugu, but I think or read in English that way. So that really matters, dal chawal concept, right? From there, we had a hockey stick growth. We could build a brand loyalty. That really helped us establish brand AHA in every household. So which is what we are today. Thanks to, if anybody watches AHA, please do continue to love us. But it's our ability to deliver consistent quality of content at an affordable price. And I keep saying this brand AHA because we have invested a lot of our energies. Not many people know this. We invest a lot of our energies in understanding our customers, market research, and we spend a lot of money on data, understanding and slicing and dicing our customers. That really helps us give our edge over the competition. We do understand who is our new subscriber, returning subscriber, who is our male, female audiences. So we slice and dice a lot of aspects of our customers, and that gives us an edge of being competitive in the market despite having multiple players.
Who are you asking next?
Yes. Probably choose Swanendu from Hoichoi. Swanendu, you have seen Hoichoi grow rapidly. I think a similar success story much before us, and we worked with you guys also in the past. How important is understanding the cultural nuances of your audiences when it comes to creating content, and that resonates deeply, and how does Hoichoi leverage it?
Thanks a lot for your question. So that basically takes me back to the idea of how Hoichoi started. So Hoichoi was born out of a very simple idea that people need to connect with their roots. They need to connect with their mother tongue. And back in the day, the regional languages were slightly underrepresented in the national OTT platforms. So I'm talking about years like 2017, 2018, when if you had searched for Bengali content on Netflix or Prime, you would hardly get any content. And that's when we felt that, like, given that our parent organization was already creating movies in Bengali, we felt that this is where we have a stronghold. Why don't we start a OTT platform that caters to Bengalis? And there are also millions of Bengalis at one of the biggest diasporas in the world. There are millions of Bengalis who are living away from home in other cities in outside India as well. And they actually wanted to consume content in their mother tongue. And that basically how we started. But initial days, it was pretty easy. But fast forward to 2020s, 2024, where now every single national player is also creating content in Bengali language. So there is a plethora of Bengali content that is available in the whole universe. And so the question is, how do we cut through the clutter and basically stand out? So there we realized that we actually have the specialization of storytelling. We know what sort of content actually resonates well with our customers. We know the customers, and there is no way the national players can do better than us. But then when we saw that basically, okay, we always consider us as a very niche platform that only caters to a niche set of audience. But within that niche, there were various different pockets. So if I have to segment our audiences, we cater to Indian Bengalis who are based out of West Bengal or other cities. We cater to Bangladeshi Bengalis who are based out of Bangladesh, and we also cater to NRI Bengalis, basically people who are living abroad. And their taste of content actually varies vastly. I mean, the same content would not work across West Bengal or Bangladesh. In West Bengal, people want to see something that they do not see on TV, something that is based on literature, something that is more woman-centric, something that is basically based on the successful franchises like Feluda, Bomkesh Bokshi, etc. While in Bangladesh, people actually want to focus more on the celebrity phase. I mean, it's massively star-driven market. The more amount of celebrities you can have in your show, the successful it is. While internationally, people just wanted to see movies that were releasing in India, and they were not able to see it internationally. So world premieres was the success, key to success for international. So that we realized that, okay, we'll have to curate our content strategy in such a way that we actually cater to all three of these different segments of users that we have. And it's not an easy task, but through data and analytics, we have tried understanding what is the kind of content that is working well with each of the segments of users. And we have tried to do our best over the years to basically cater to all of them. So I guess that brings me to my next question to Anu. Given that Intent Media is also dealing across so many different regional languages, how do you approach content creation where basically you balance, basically your content also appeals to regional languages as well as at a national scale as well?
Thank you. As you all said, regional language storytelling narrative today transcends geographical and linguistic barriers. The ingredients of creating this narrative are many, and I would want to say a few elements in that. One element, a very important element, is in the storytelling, which is about universal themes and local authenticity. What I mean by that is that if you take most of the story narratives are about ambition, revenge, love, resilience. But then the setting is very rooted. For instance, take Drishyam. It's about familial bonding, but there was a local twist. Take Kantara, for instance. It has a strong cultural reference, but the theme was about land and pride. Take a movie like KGF and Bahubali. KGF was, the setting was Kolar Goldfield, or Pushpa was Rayalaseema, right? But Pushpa was not just about smuggling, but it was about an uprising of an underdog. KGF was about oppression. So these are all universal themes. I loved watching Lunchbox. Right? Have you seen that movie? Now, it's about the Dabawala in Mumbai, right? But what is the story theme about? The theme is about loneliness and hope. So if you see, most of the stories have universal themes, but the setting is very critical when we tell the story. That setting has to be very rooted and it has to be very authentic. Then the story travels. No, not just in films, but you take even the web series content that all of us are trying to create. Take Sacred Games. It was about Mumbai underworld, right? The theme is about how people can get affected because of corruption. It's about the underworld, right? Corruption or power influences and makes you more corrupt. That's what they. Or take the Kota factory, right? That's about the coaching campus, IIT coaching campus, right? But then most of us, the struggle that they go through, or even in Bengal, Z5 created Kali, which is about the Calcutta underworld. It's about a woman, to what extent she will go to save her kid. Now, why I'm saying that is, so if you see all of this, it has the universal theme. And now the other important factor, as you tell the story with theme and having a universal appeal, the important factor, you tell stories through characters. So the character arc is very important in our storytelling context. And character arc with relatable emotions. I will tell you an example of what a feature film that we are just doing right now, which we just got completed, and it will get distributed in Telugu next month. Some of you must have seen this film called JJ Hey, a Malayalam film of Basil Joseph, done at 4 crores, done around 50 crores in terms of top line. Now, this film is about protagonists. It's about the fear. She is at crossroads about what to do for herself and what the society expects of her, right? That's the story. Now, it worked very well. Now, we have adopted that and executed it in Telugu. So what we have done in Telugu, we have kept the same theme, but the context setting is different. We have done it in Rajamandri. So we have the Godavari dialect in that. And then in JJJ, it is, he runs a poultry farm because it is Rajamandri. He has a fish farm. Now in JJJ, he has idiyappam as a staple diet. But we have had idli and a different kind of chutney that's not made out of grinder, but through manual stuff. So these are the elements of changes. So the story, what you're trying to say is the same, but you just have to make the context setting is what is important. And the other important ingredient is larger than life in terms of production values. You saw KGF, Bahubali, and then you have the latest, the Kalki, in terms of the production values is larger than life and the story travels. The important innovative element that has been added now, I would say, is cross-pollination in terms of talent and in terms of setting. So cross-pollination of talent, I would say, take the case of Farzi. You have Vijay Sethupathi and Shahid Kapoor, right? So you have the fan base of Vijay Sethupathi wanting to see that, and you have the fan base of Shahid wanting to use the next movie that gets released of Rajni sir, Vetian. You have Amitabh Bachchan sir, you have Fahad Fasil, you have an ensemble cast. So that's a new strategy that we've all started adapting so that the stories travel. So that is one. And then the other important element is setting. For instance, you have seen some of the Malayalam films like Premalu. The setting is, the theme is love, but it's set in Hyderabad. I'm sorry, Hyderabad, yes. And Avesham, it was set in Bangalore. Or Manjumal Boys was set in Ooty, in Tamil Nadu. So cross-pollination of talent and the setting, make sure that it crosses, the stories cross, the story gets carried over. And today the most important other new element is dubbing and subtitling. See, Neeraj, earlier on we were not giving importance to dubbing, but today there is a lot of importance that is given to dubbing. The quality of dubbing has improved. Like for instance, if you see in KGF, not in KGF, in Pushpa, Allu Arjun's voice was dubbed by Shreyas Talpade. Or in the case of, again, Yash's voice in KGF was done by another notable dubbing star. So quality dubbing. So dubbing is not just about translation. So they make sure that it is, the lip sync is proper, it is seamless. So all these elements are making sure today that regional storytelling goes across, not just in India. It doesn't cross from one state to another, but also international. Look at what Minnal Murli did in Netflix, our homegrown superstar, right? So that's the magic that we are creating in terms of regional content storytelling. So all of you should be proud that you're all living in regional markets and happy with what we're creating.
Thanks for that.
Neeraj, I mean, you've heard perception from PR Satish and others. I mean, how do you decode this whole thing about regional OTT platforms? Where do you see regional OTT platforms navigating 5 years from now? What's the growth story from now on?
So one thing which no consultant will tell you is that nobody knows anything, right?
I asked you a tough question.
I am happy to admit here that nobody really knows anything what's going to happen in 5 years.
I just want to give you an interesting quote. Earlier when we were in sales, the CEOs would ask, what would you think would be the projection of the top line in the next 5 years? In our business especially, we would not know where it is in the next 1 month.
YouTube is a great platform, great destination for bringing newer voices up, but discoverability on YouTube is really, really hard. Getting to even 10,000 subscribers is a very difficult job, and even when you do that, your videos don't show up, in people's feeds. I think that's something which regional OTT platforms can change. You can be a platform for creator economy as well, a creator economy in that local language. And the third thing I would love to see is greater adoption of generative AI. It will not only help you bring down costs, but it will help you reach out to a newer set of audiences as well. Korean content is coming here. Why is my content not going to South America? I want Telugu content to be doing well in South America. It will not do well unless you dub it well enough in Spanish or Portuguese. And go ahead, don't just dub it, do face swap. Find a local actor there and do a face swap there and release that content. So these are three things which regional platforms, if they can do, I think over the next 5 years you'll do really well. Thank you for engaging me in Creator's Voice, segment 1. We come to segment 2. Segment 2 is Consumer's Voice. So what I did is, lazy as I am, I wrote on my LinkedIn feed about this session that I'm getting a chance to be on a panel with these leaders, and I asked my LinkedIn audience to tell me any questions they would like me to ask them. I picked up some of the questions that came in there. I paraphrased them, to consolidate them into 3-4 questions. I will ask 3 of those questions one by one. Anup sir, the question the audience wanted to ask you, Swarnendu already asked and you've answered it in detail. I will, towards the end, I will give my own flip to that question and it will be slightly different. But the first question, Satish sir, to you is, with the rapid rise of regional social media influencers, do you see potential for OTT platforms to collaborate with influencers to create joint offerings for brands and target regional audiences?
Okay, on that note, I think television gave us stars like Madhavan and Shah Rukh Khan, right? We've had quite a few success stories across various languages. So social media influencers and celebs in their own right are doing lots of branded content. They're also part of television. We've engaged with lots of them to be anchors and judges and so on in the linear part of the business. Recently, Malayalam saw a fairly successful film made with social media stars called Vara. Runaway box office success. I would call it runaway box office success. Yeah, in a sense, if you invested X and you made 5X or 6X, it's a pretty good runaway success, I would think. And there's the Vara 2 that's being spoken about. So I think social media influencers need not be necessarily good looking like Madhavan or Shah Rukh Khan or someone else. They are great content creators. They know how to engage with their fan base. So we need to leverage and use and create greater content. So I think it's already happening, and there will be more that's going to happen, not just to anchor or be a judge and things like that. They have massive fan bases, millions of people. I'm just talking about even Malayalam, which I follow far more closely than other Indian languages. There are lots and lots of such examples of
Neeraj, I just want to add to what Satish said. See, if you look at some of the Malayalam films, like Avesham, that Fahad Fazal, the support staff are all influencers.
Absolutely.
Right? So, in fact, Fahad has said he saw a huge crowd when he was shooting in Bangalore, and he was surprised. He thought they were all fans, but then they were all coming to see the support stars. So, if you see most of the film,
probably his fan base is lesser than social media. His fan base in Instagram maybe for all I care much lesser.
I would love to see this expand more. Dilip, the next question to you is, what unique challenges do regional OTT platforms face when it comes to monetizing content compared to national or international content?
Two aspects. I think one is very common to everyone, piracy, that we all face together. So, not very unique, but one of the biggest challenges that I think all video streaming platforms face today is piracy. If you're getting 100 subscribers, potential, you could only get maybe 30 or 40 with piracy, or even lesser. So we're losing significant amount of monetization opportunity by piracy. And in the case of piracy, it's not just the platforms, but also the consumers who are equally party to it. But very unique to the regional platforms is the scale. Now, to put things into perspective, I'll give you some numbers as per Ormax Media. Today, the SVOD direct-to-customer business, in India, is about 50 million unique subscribers SVOD business as per Ormax latest report. 20% to 30% is the languages that we operate in, of Telugu and Tamil. But that's pretty much the upper cap, beyond which it's category growth. The language has a potential already as on today, but beyond which is complete category growth, which is tier 2 and below, which is a difficult portions of higher acquisition rates and whatnot. Generally, video streaming platforms like us, AHA, have two categories of monetization: subscription and non-subscription. The moment you see that scale, SVOD, yes, AVOD is growing a lot more faster. As per the same Ormax report, the same number of AVOD in India is more than 500 million. So, same thing, 20 to 30% Telugu and Tamil would be about 100 million. But my point is the scale is limited. While language is boon, it also comes with its set of challenges with the scale that we operate with, right? That is true with both subscription and non-subscription revenue. That's one of the biggest challenges. But there's also present, an opportunity for us as a team to find innovative ways, which is what resting panel was saying, right? We should be proud of our language, and it has immense potential. And like you rightly said, it's a very strong community. If you nurture it, it has very high potential to generate revenue and retention.
Thanks. You wanted to say something?
On the branded content piece, social media influencers, we did some quick research, very manual crawling the Insta world. This festive season Onam, there were 250 plus campaigns that social media influencers managed to do for brands.
Okay. Wow. 250
what we
million.
could just 250.
Oh, 250.
250 branded.
Wow, that's
content.
still massive.
Massive. Just this 1 month. Right, so they're very, very popular out there. Lots of ad dollars going out there. Okay.
Shwarnendu, for you, the question is around the adoption of technology, and Indian OTT platforms are often accused of not adopting technology well enough. So, especially when it comes to adopting innovative technology. So my question to you, or someone's question to you, I don't know if the person is in the room, but their question to you is, one, is it true that we are conservative when it comes to adopting innovative technology? And if it is the case, why is the case? What can be done to overcome it?
Right. So I sort of do not agree with the statement because I believe when it comes to innovation, there is no big or small. All the OTTs, be it regional, be it national, they have their own ways of innovating things. Some of the bigger OTTs are innovating for scale, while we are innovating for agility, just so that we can stay profitable. And even at the lower scale, we can do things that basically actually mean something to the user. So when the regional OTTs actually came into the picture, the first thing that they wanted to get sorted was content. And now when the content part is more streamlined, what we are looking into is more the technological part of it. That being said, I would say Hoichoi as a platform, we are using the most cutting edge tech stack that is available there in the market. There are different things that we have been adopting every new day. Having said so, there is some truth to the statement when it especially comes to smaller OTT platforms, and that the only challenge becomes, I would say, the scale or the cost. When you are a smaller platform, you cannot really afford to have everything in-house. You still have to work with different technology partners who provide you plug-and-play services. And when you are actually dependent on a partner, you are sort of restricted by their product roadmap. While you wanted to have something in your roadmap, you cannot really do that. So that being said, as the regional OTTs grow bigger, everyone wants to have everything in-house, all their proprietary technologies, and that's something Hoichoi has been doing as well. AHA has done already. So yes, I would say, the innovation is there. It's just that we are only investing our efforts on things that scale and that keeps us profitable.
Got it. Thanks. Anup sir, the question originally for you was around, around how, what makes regional content cut across borders, but that question has been answered in detail. So I will just ask you a very simple question. Are you really competing with the national and international platforms, or is it that your audience is completely different?
No, I think, regional OTTs are here to stay, and we are here to stay in a big way, right? For the simple reason, I would say regional OTTs are far more agile, and they have the tendency to experiment much better than a national platform. For instance, the decisions will be made by probably peers and our other panelists sitting here. But if I want to do a content for a Netflix or an Amazon, I have to depend on somebody who sits in Bombay for decision making, right? So which means, that's why I said regional OTT players will be far more agile. So I get a standard, in fact, the worst part of it is the decision makers sometimes don't even know the language, right?
I know of a company who used to send their India scripts all the way to Los Angeles to
Yes.
get dialogues approved.
Yeah.
What will they know about dialogues?
I can tell you an interesting incident. There was somebody from a big platform who was staying in the house of one of the biggest stars, singers in Kerala. And when this individual came and met one of my friend, I don't want to say he or she, said, I stayed in one big singer's house. Then my friend asked, who's that singer? Some Eshudas. Okay. So now you will understand why regional OTT should prosper, And we would tend to experiment far better and more aggressive. See, for instance, there was this film called The Great Indian Kitchen. None of the platforms were willing to stream that. Then it was streamed on VStream. It became so popular by word of mouth. Suddenly it got picked up by Amazon. So ability to take decisions fast, understanding of cultural preferences is far more better than national platforms. That's point number one. And I think as P.R. Satish and others said, production costs are far lesser. I don't think any of them are even spending 20% or 30% of the budgets what the national platforms. And as you also rightly said in YouTube, it is not about production value. It is about the core story or the thought that that is about to be said. So these are some of the, then also making custom tailor-made content. See, for instance, sitting in Karnataka, if I'm starting a regional OTT platform, I will do a content that is for the Vokaligas, or Lingayats, or if P.R. Satish, he will do a content that is catering to the Tier community, which is the Sri Narayana group. Now these national platforms cannot think or will not be brave enough to do all these things. So catering to specific communities, engaging with specific communities, not only in terms of content creation, but even in terms of effective marketing. Not tying up when, if you have an Onam, only Max will celebrate, not Netflix or Amazon, right?
Correct.
Or things like that. So local events, all of that, it's more. Then other important thing is crossover the markets which have not been touched before, unserved markets, right? See, I was just hearing the other day, there is an OTT platform called Chaupal, and now many of you know about it. It's a Punjabi OTT platform, and I was shocked when I heard the numbers. There are 11 crore people who speak Punjab all over the world, right? Now, this the number of subscribers today is around 1 million, right? For that, is around 1% of. Now they charge per subscriber 700 rupees. They make a top line of 70 crores. Can you believe? Chaupal. Now, not only that, there's another platform. Now, imagine in India, we have 20,000 dialects. There is a Haryani platform that's come up, which is called Stage. So now, then there is another one. Can you believe there is another platform called in Konkani that's also called Super 8. So what happens is in these platforms, not just dramas, but folk plays, poetry reading, or stage plays, all of this gets shown. And also, if you see national platforms, even in film catalog, it will be very focused on those few blockbusters. But if you take regional platforms, P.R. Satish probably I'll create some, he will also try experimental films, critical films.
That's true.
That's kind of film catalog, they will not even touch, which I'm talking about. So, all this, ensures that regional OTT platforms are far more expensive. So, and also remember, what is important, Neeraj, is that today, even tomorrow, if I want, I can start a OTT platform because it's not expensive.
Right.
See, now if you talk of TV linear medium, it's a very capex intensive industry.
So lots of licenses and so on.
Licenses and so on. But today, under the PaaS model, you don't have somebody takes care of your architecture, and I just have to worry about my content and marketing. So I'm sure one of us in the panel tomorrow might start an OTT platform. It's possible. So
I'm not sure if it's not so expensive. It is still fairly expensive. Technology is a huge piece. That's
I'm in fact developing.
People around here.
I'm in fact in Karnataka, for instance, I'm working with the state government. See, now 300 films are getting released in Karnataka. Today there are no takers. There is a category A+ star whose film is going to be released, and there is no taker for it. So now we have ensured with the state government that we start a platform called Namma Chalana Chitra. Now we want to.
Kerala's already started
Yeah,
government's
so they
had
have
an OTT
started.
service.
So, and it doesn't cost much, 50 films, it's only 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs per month. So this is what is the rent that you have to pay. Tomorrow I have prototypes of almost 3 or every neighborhood will have an OTT platform. That's the way. I know an acting school, yesterday wanted to start a OTT platform. I can tell you also, it's called Amity School of Acting. So, boss, the writing is on the wall. The next few years is an unbelievable era. We all have to, get like content. We have to get immersed into it, and it's a wonderful time because there will be a variety of content that will be here to be offered.
Which is an excellent moment for me to segue into the last segment. You wanted to say something, sir? Super. So segment 3 is the one that I'm most excited about. Again, I still want to check how many people are still in the room. So there is a show called The Newsroom. All those who have seen The Newsroom, just raise your hands, please. Okay, very few. Those who haven't, please go and watch The Newsroom. If nothing, just watch the first 8 minutes of that show. Possibly the best writing ever. Aaron Sorkin is God. Okay, that show is the basis for segment 3. It's a rapid fire round, which we call in one sentence or less.
So where is the kit?
That's only with Karan Johar. I'm still too regional.
Where's the kit?
Hi, Krishna.
So it's called one sentence or less. I'm going to ask the same question to all 4 of you, and I will encourage you to answer it in one word or one phrase. So essentially one sentence or less. Sure. So we start with you, Anup sir. One word to describe the future of regional OTT.
Expansive.
I would say very innovating.
Bright.
Global.
Interesting. I love this. This has not happened so far.
The audience is here.
We really will feed off your energy. Okay. So, second question, I'll start with you. This time we'll go this way, we'll keep alternating. The biggest challenge regional OTTs face today?
Technology.
Piracy.
I guess driving the best UX at the lowest cost.
Believe in regional OTTs.
Oh, interesting. I'll start with you this time. Next question. SVOD, AVOD, TVOD, or something else, which commercial model works best? Hybrid.
Short form.
Hybrid. For a diverse India, hybrid.
I think all 3. I mean, SVOD, AVOD, and TVOD will evolve.
So, okay, which is again comes to the next question. The biggest factor driving growth in regional OTT?
There's no geography.
Language.
Customer stickiness.
I will say rootedness or authenticity.
Okay. And the most underutilized opportunity in regional OTT?
I think is the creative talent pool in terms of the writers.
I guess in terms of genre, in our case it would be devotional or mythological. This is something we have
Underutilized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Data.
Underutilized what?
The most underutilized opportunity for regional OTT?
Marketing dollars. I mean, we sort of. And it's not underutilized as in not being able to reach out as much.
Got it. Okay, interesting. The biggest competitor to regional OTTs?
Global OTTs.
Yeah, I would agree. The global and the international ones. Yeah.
I'd say it's still satellite TV.
Okay.
If you don't consider YouTube as an OTT, then I will say YouTube is the best.
Yeah, YouTube, yeah. You're right.
See, EMI report says 61% of the TV audiences can be got through YouTube. You can reach through YouTube.
There are no media planners and buyers here, I hope.
I'll pick one more. We've run out of time, and I want to give the audience also a chance to ask questions. One more question I'll ask. the next big regional language for
Continue to grow beyond boundaries.
Tamil.
For us, it would be the T233 markets within West Bengal.
Okay.
I will say, you should remember you are sitting in Bangalore.
ನಮ್ಮೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ 20% ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Sir, I was just going to ask this.
Only 20% speak Kannada here.
Exactly.
No, in fact, if you don't know to read and write, to convert everybody to know the language.
Yeah, I think Kannada has to grow.
But I happened to come across AHA original called Save a P. Trust me, none of the stars were like the stars, but you know, good artists. Capability to keep the stardom of big actors by your side and showcase only pure good content to all the Indian audience. What do you think about it?
Firstly, this is Dilip, but I got your question. I think OTT by nature of it provides a fantastic platform, not just for the big stars, by construct of how it is, the cause, the community and whatnot. It's a fantastic platform for young talent, upcoming talent. And I'm sure all of the panelists would agree that there's no better investment than investing in young talent and a fantastic story as on today. So, no two things about it. We will continue to do it.
Yes, sir. We'll come to you, Aditya, in one moment. There's a question. Just shout.
Yes.
General strategy to travel across borders.
Cost of acquisition, I guess, all of us face the same challenge, right? Right now we reach out, content travels, social media helps travel, marketing dollars are not infinite. So there is a gap, which is why I said in one of the earlier rapid fire, the biggest challenge is marketing dollars. Anybody else wants to take that?
Yeah, sorry. So for us, I would say it's not an easy task. Thanks a lot for your question. When it comes to targeting people in India, it's pretty easy. But going beyond borders, from time to time, we have to actually depend on organic traffic a lot, where basically the content discovery happens. But in terms of reaching out to them, or basically in terms of paid marketing, we do actually depend on a lot of lookalikes and also external data, third-party databases and all. And our marketing activities, especially for international, has been very important in terms of we reach out to the Bengali communities that are based abroad, like the main Bengali communities outside India would be across US, UK, Australia, Canada, or Middle East, and we maintain a very healthy relationship with most of the communities. So that's how we reach out to them. We tell them what is the upcoming content, and they, we keep them excited about the content, and that's how they basically subscribe to us. Yeah, mostly organic.
Cool. We seem to have run out of time, much as we would want it. We can carry this conversation over. Everyone here is on LinkedIn. So go ahead to their profiles, shoot your questions. Hopefully they'll answer, right?
Yeah, we will try, certainly.
So, thank you so much for making time once again and being a lovely panel. I enjoyed hosting this. I hope all of you enjoyed being here.
Thank you, Neeraj, and
Thank you, Neeraj,
OTTVerse for giving us the opportunity.
Thanks for making it rather interesting.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely an amazing panel.
Thank you, audience. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.